What's up, bros? When we were talking about investing into soccer cards, some of you actually noticed that I didn't think that it was a good investment, and I also didn't make any exceptions. And this is in a stark contrast to, for example, basketball cards, where although overall I thought it's not a very attractive investment, I clearly identified investment opportunities which I found personally very sensible. So in particular, investing into this rare Jordan inserts from the 90s or unnumbered LeBron Rockies. But in soccer, I didn't really make any exceptions. And actually, some people who understand pretty well and agree with me that soccer cards in general, such as say like Haaland or Mbappé Rockies, are not a particularly attractive investment. Ask me what do I think about autos of Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi. My answer is that I don't think that investing into Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi autos is a particularly sensible investment. And the reason for that is that in order for a card to be an attractive investment, either the supply of this card should be limited or the demand for this card should be skyrocketing. And today I'm going to argue that from my point of view, both of these are rather unlikely to happen with respect to Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi autos. So let's start with the supply. So there are three reasons why the supply of an autograph card can be limited. The first reason is that the player is just not signing, regardless of the money offered, just not signing out of some principles. There are not many examples like that. But if we are talking about soccer, like Michel Platini is an example of a player like that. And across the sports, you can find other personalities, like, for example, Ken Dryden. But this obviously doesn't apply to Cristiano Ronaldo or to Messi because they are signing tons of cards. The second reason which could limit the supply is that a player is exclusive with a particular card manufacturer, and that card manufacturer will happen to lose a license. So this is what happened, for example, to Upper Deck with Jordan and LeBron. There is a big misconception that Jordan autos are super expensive because of how great player he was, and yeah, it is obviously a contributing factor, but clearly and by far the most important factor for that is that Jordan is exclusive to Upper Deck, and Upper Deck won't have NBA license essentially forever. I mean, they could have an NBA license, but they actually screwed up the relationship with the NBA Player Association because they didn't pay royalties on time, so it will be difficult for them to produce any sensible product. When I was collecting in early 2000s, Jordan autos were like literally cheap, like because Upper Deck was putting them in all in all kind of products, and they were in excess supply, and Jordan auto wasn't a big deal at all. It's only after Upper Deck actually lost the license that the supply became limited, and the prices started climbing up. However, this is also not something which is likely to happen to either Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi. Because as you can see, both of them are actually signing with all card companies. Panini tops, upper deck, and even leaf trading cards. Because they're not exclusive, whatever company will hold the license will be producing their autographs. And the final and the third reason why the supply could be limited is that a player will die prematurely. Of course, the most recent example of it is Kobe, but there are also examples of this happening throughout the history. Tim Horton is one example, and there was this big airplane crash in the 1970s where the whole Manchester United team died, and this is obviously very sad, and I don't wish this to anybody, but luckily this is something which is very, very unlikely to happen. These are legitimate reasons why the supply of these autograph cards could be limited. So now I would like to cover one reason why some people think that the supply of these cards will be limited, but which has been historically 110% wrong. And the reason is that card manufacturers will actually limit the supply of these cards in order to maintain their value. Theoretically, it could be the case, but historically, if you look what has been going on, for sure it hasn't been the case. Just think about like Kobe. So when Kobe signed the exclusive deal with Panini, Panini was saying, yeah, all his autos will be like very limited, only like in our best products, and so on and so forth. But already at that point, I remember like on a blowout forums, I was writing that like what Panini will do, they will just pump these autographs in every product, and you will end up in the situation where the price of a Kobe auto will be $100. And then a lot of people were like laughing to me that, yeah, they were like writing, yeah, if there will be Kobe autos for like $200, for $150, I'll buy all of them. And where did this situation end up? Yeah, well, the situation ended up that there were many Kobe autos below $100. So actually, I was like very optimistic when I was writing that the Kobe autos will be worth $100 because many of them ended up being worth less than that. So people complain that I'm kind of spreading the negativity in the hobby, but yeah, like in fact, like what I'm like talking about is actually quite like optimistic forecasts. What happened is that indeed Panini started kind of carefully with this Kobe autos. So they were mostly in premium products, but then gradually they started adding them up into less premium products. Then they started adding them to all kind of products. Then they started spreading these false rumors that somehow, yeah, now all these sticker autos are common, but it's so hard to get hard-signed autos of Kobe. And what we observed over time is, yeah, and then this hard autos of Kobe started saturating all the products. So for those of you who have followed my channel for some time, I myself pulled a hard auto of Kobe out of Prism, which is not high-end product by any measure. Like, and I actually still have this auto because I remember when I pulled that hard auto, I checked like what it's going for, like online on eBay. It was going like for like $180. Yeah, hard auto of Kobe. Yeah, it's of course like good. Like it's actually good for me that I kind of put it into my cabinet and forgot about it. Worked out well financially, but that was just a luck that, of course, not a luck. It obviously something. It's a big tragedy that Kobe died, but a luck in terms of finance for some investors. But this is the pattern which, for example, Upper Deck was also doing with Jordan when they had the license. Yeah, like they started with Jordan being like. Jordan autos being short printed autos like an exquisite and ultimate and other high end products, and they ended up in the situation where like there were actually like dual LeBron Jordan autos in products like Trilogy. Like if you haven't been collecting during that time, like I was, you probably don't even know what is like a Trilogy. It's was like a middle of the road product, like something like Spectre is now. Nobody cared about. So what Upper Deck decided to, so that they can move that product, they okay, we will put this. Hard signed Jordan autos into it. This is like something which like Upper Deck is also doing right now in hockey with Wayne Gretzky. Like you can pull like Gretzky autos from like literally whatever products now, like something like Stature, like honestly, like WTF Stature. The card companies are not going to be limiting supply of any of these autos because what they care about now, they care about moving the current product, kind of hammering while the iron is hot. And for these purposes, of course, the best strategy is just to put these autos in all products. In terms of this Messi and Ronaldo autos, you can see like that the companies are following exactly the same trend. Yeah, like they started with these autos being like in clearly like better and premium products, like for instance a 2014 Prism, which was a really high-end product when it was released. But right now there are like you can pull this Messi and Ronaldo autos from like literally whatever like products like treble, like. And now we are in this stage where Panini like is trying to spread this like completely false rumors that it's somehow like more difficult to get hard signed autos because the market for sticker autos is saturating really badly. Prices are dropping. So the next thing they will start to pump hard signed autos. And it's not any more difficult to get a hard signed auto. Yeah, like it's a little bit more troublesome because the worker of Panini needs to develop a design a little bit earlier, and they will need to ship these autos to players a little bit earlier. But for players, it's exactly the same. Do you sign a sticker or do you sign a card? So yeah, it will cost Panini like a little bit more, but like paying these like designers and whoever like handling the shipping is like literally peanuts. So it's not gonna matter. The supply of these autos is not likely to be limited at all. So now let's talk about demand. But I'm also gonna argue that the demand for these autos is not gonna skyrocket, and this is because right now Messi and Ronaldo are in their prime following. So they're currently the best players in soccer and they're still playing. But usually what happens after a players retire, that the demand will gradually go down. And that's because the new collectors who are entering the hobby, they don't have such a strong attachment to Messi and Ronaldo because they didn't see them play. You could think about like for example like in terms of Pele or Maradona autos. In terms of the history of soccer, I don't think like many people would argue that Pele and Maradona are not comparable to Messi and Ronaldo, and in terms of titles, even probably better. But if you look on the prices of their hard autos, they're a fraction of prices of Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo autos. It is in the situation where there are much less of their autos available than of Cristiano and Messi autos. And this is simply because that not many collectors actually remember them playing. Like I personally, I barely remember like Maradona, like very vague memories at the end of his career. So uh, I know that he was an all-time great, but do I associate with him? No. The same thing is gonna happen to Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi over time. Of course, because they are truly generational talents, there will always be demand for their autos, there's always demand for Pelé and Maradona autos, but this demand is not going to be as high as it is now. It doesn't mean that the prices will go down a lot or anything like that, because the people who currently collect them, their wealth will grow over time, the aggregate output of the economy is growing over time, but that's gonna be a rather stable growth on average comparable to the overall growth of the world's economy, so something like 3-4% per year. And if you're really looking for to making a lot of money, what needs to happen in terms of demand, the demand must skyrocket. And given that these players are at the end of their careers, where they will exit the spotlights pretty soon, I just don't see how this will happen. Overall, I'm not very optimistic about the financial potential of Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi autos.